Connection. My name is May Hanna, and I'm your host. And this show is about UC Claremont College and connecting the community to all the great things that are happening on campus and around. And we thank Anderson Community Television for their partnership in this. So I'd like to introduce you to my first guest, Nikki Vargas.
Hi.
Welcome, Nikki.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here today. Nikki is the program manager of the events and community arts at UC Claremont College. And how long have you been at the campus?
Going on 8 years.
Wow, that's
long time.
Yeah, it is a long time. So Nikki has a great job on campus, and Nikki's, besides doing special events on campus, your passion revolves around the arts.
Yes.
And so tell the viewers a little bit about the art series that we have at UC Claremont.
Well, currently we have the Park National Bank Art Gallery. We have shows in there throughout the year, all 12 months. We bring in professional artists to come in to exhibit. We also have some of our student shows exhibiting our student work in the different classes that we have on campus. In addition, we also have our Calico Children's Theater series, which is my personal favorite. And so we have a lot of fun activities, performances. We've got acting workshops, acting classes, and a theater camp in the summertime.
That's fantastic. Tell us a little bit, let's start with the Park National Art Gallery.
Okay.
One of the things that some people don't know is that it's a juried show that's in the art gallery. A lot of folks stop by and say, I'd like to be in the art gallery.
Right.
How can I get in?
Right.
So for the viewers that aren't familiar with what juried means, explain that to them.
Okay, we have a committee that will review. What we do is we now have an open call, so all year long we will accept applications for the art gallery, proposals for the gallery, and then once a year, usually that happens in late winter, early spring, we have a committee of about 5 to 6 people who will review all of these submissions, and then from that we will choose artists to help fill the gallery for the next season. We work about a year in advance.
Okay. And so if someone's watching this show and they think, well, I have a special talent, or I'm an artist and I've displayed in other places, where would they look for information about the applications for submitting for the show?
They want to go to our main website, ucclaremont.edu.
Okay.
And then there are links on the left-hand side. They can look for community arts.
Okay.
And under that listing, they can find the art gallery and the information about submitting an application to our call to artists.
Okay. One of the things that I think is interesting that you do with the call to artists is you'll sometimes group shows. So sometimes when there isn't an artist that has enough pieces to fill the art gallery, because it is a pretty big gallery, you'll group shows. So talk a little bit about that.
Okay, we have about 1,000 square feet of gallery space, so it is quite a lot to fill at times. So sometimes we're looking for another artist to supplement, but we also will look for people who maybe complement each other or can provide a unique show as a grouping. So at those times we may decide to combine artists into a show and exhibit different pieces. They may be pieces that hang on the wall with pieces of sculpture that are on pedestals. That that may be something that we'll do.
That sounds great. And what are some of the shows you're most excited about this year coming to the art gallery?
Well, one of my favorites is actually, it just loaded in yesterday. We have Kent Crew, who's a local photographer, and he, for the kind of holiday season, we have him displaying some dolls that they are dolls and they're X-rayed, so you get the X-ray version of these dolls, and it provides for a very unique show. You get to see sometimes the insides that you may not see on the the outside of the doll comes through in those X-rays. It provides a very unique perspective on these dolls.
Very fun, fun. I know there's always something interesting going on in the art gallery, and I know our students and faculty and staff enjoy the shows, and there's also receptions.
Yes.
Meet the Artist receptions, and those are open to the community as well.
Absolutely. Our shows are always free. Anyone can visit the gallery during our open hours, and then receptions, we will try to put notifications out and, as press releases, put it on our website. The general public is welcome to join us for any kind of reception that we have on campus in the art gallery.
Well, that's great. So if you're watching and you're interested in the art gallery, just take a peek over at the website and scroll down to the community arts section, and you'll find out some really great shows that are happening. I know there's also some artists in the last couple of years that we've had in from California and from different places that come and exhibit. So I don't think folks really know what a little treasure we have there in the art gallery.
Yeah, we have artists from all over the country who submit to the gallery, so we're very fortunate in that regards. We also try to provide a great variety of types of exhibits that come in, everything from jewelry to ceramics to 3D sculpture, as well as paintings, more traditional, what people are familiar with. So we absolutely have a great variety that comes through the gallery.
That's great. So on to the other part of your job, which is the Community Art Series. It's a children's series. Tell us about this upcoming season. We just announced it at the college, and so I know you're particularly excited this year about what's coming up. So tell the viewers a little bit about that.
Okay, that's our Calico Children's Theater Series, and I'm really excited because we have some bigger show titles this season that we were able to bring in. We try to keep the prices affordable. Tickets are from $7 to $5 per person. Season tickets, of course, you get a better deal for those. So we have Pinkalicious, the musical, as our first show for the season. So that's the one I'm dearly happy to have there. So it's all about the pink, and Pinkalicious is a title of a book for little children, and we will have a Pinkalicious fashion parade before our first showing on November 2nd. So we have 2 shows available, November 2nd, 1:30 and 3:30 p.m., and we will have the Pinkalicious fashion parade before the first show. And that's where little girls can get dressed up and they can walk a runway. We've got a little pink party with pink cupcakes happening before the show.
Oh, that's so much fun. I know there are a lot of folks that have already heard about it, and they're really excited about the Pinkalicious show and about the fashion show that's before it. So it's kind of like a family day on campus. I hate to say just girls, because I know that there are some boys that are interested in Pinkalicious.
Absolutely. There's her little brother's a character in the book, so he will be in the musical as well. So little boys are welcome to join us. So it should be a fun time.
That'll be terrific. And then what else is coming up this year?
For performances, we also have in December a Christmas Carol. On December 13th and 14th, we'll have showings of A Christmas Carol performed by Art Reach, our local company at the Cincinnati Children's Theater will come out to perform, so that's a great holiday classic.
Great.
And then in January we have the Button People, and this is by a group called Mystic Drums, and they do music ecocation, I think is what it's called. And so they're tying in not only music and drums, but also the environment and how we can preserve it for ourselves and animals that live in these different environments.
Wow. One of the interesting things about your job, you go every fall, and I know it's coming up soon, where you actually, folks might think like, how does she get the shows, or how would you know about the shows? Share a little bit about the Ohio Arts
Presenters Network?
Yeah, Presenters Network, because I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great place for presenters from Ohio to get together, and it's a showcase conference, so it's really a lot of fun for us presenters. We get to see little vignettes of different performances, performances for children, but also performances for adult groups and things. But they have touring companies that come in from all over the country as well as Canada. So we have a great variety of shows that we can see and potentially book for future seasons.
That's terrific. And so from that, you might see 20 or 30 different shows, like vignettes,
About
5 or 10
36
minutes?
at each conference.
Okay,
So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then from there, you book the shows to come to UC Claremont's theater.
Yes,
correct?
I try to find something that's appropriate for our audience. We do children's theater, basically from about pre-K to about 8th grade are what our shows are geared towards. So we look for family-friendly programming. So we're always looking for something new and interesting to bring to our little village in Batavia.
That's so terrific. And I know that you really work hard to find the right shows to bring to the audience that's appealing to this region and that sort of thing. So that's terrific.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the acting workshops, because I know you've had a lot of success, and that's been your idea.
Yeah.
You launched that a few years ago,
Right.
and it's been really successful.
Right. We've been fortunate to work with some local companies here in Cincinnati, some great theater companies. So for the workshops, we're working with Ensemble Theater Company, and their teaching staff will come out to our facility in Batavia, and they will put on different acting workshops. We have this year, Stage Fright is one of those, November 14th. Also, we have, let's see here, Science of Theater. So you're discovering some different effects, sound effects, and other special effects that happen during theater production. So that's November 14th as well. And then we have Play in a Day, which is really fun. I did this with the kids last year. And it's a 3-hour workshop where they actually get to write a story with our teaching staff. They build a set and they make costumes all in the span of 3 hours. So the kids
Wow.
have a lot of fun with that. So that's in November as well, 9th and 16th.
And what are the age groups that you target for that?
It's about 2nd through 8th grade. Some of them are 3rd through 8th grade.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's terrific. And what about cost?
The cost for those, for the 1-hour workshops, it's $15. For the Play in a Day, which is a 3-hour workshop, it's $30 per child.
So very reasonable. That's
Yeah.
terrific. I know that it draws from the Anderson all the way through the Eastern Corridor areas.
Yeah,
Folks
absolutely.
come from, well, we've even had folks come from the West Side to this,
Right.
to some of your workshops, because they're, such great
Yeah,
offerings.
we're even reaching Indiana. I had recently a customer from Indiana, so
That's
it's
terrific.
fantastic.
Well, that's so nice. Talk a little bit about the summer workshops. I know we're kind of looking really ahead in the future, but folks start looking at summer things
Sure.
probably in the early winter.
Before I mention the summer theater camp, I just want to throw in also we have winter acting classes.
Oh, okay.
So if you're getting cabin fever and you want to get out and you want to do something, we have 7-week classes for kids, which is
great.
Yeah, it's a great experience. It's $80 for 7 weeks of classes, and that's taught by teaching staff from the Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park. So we're collaborating with them to bring those to campus.
That's great.
Right.
What
And-
is the what's the show that they're doing?
For the summer theater camp?
No, the winter.
For the winter classes, those are just the acting classes.
Oh, okay.
And then they'll do some improvisation at the very end for the parents to come and see. Some of the littler kids will have maybe a little story that they'll act out.
Oh,
Yeah,
cute.
so that's a lot of fun for the kids.
Very cute. We just have a minute left, or a minute or two left. Tell us a little bit about summer before we end this.
Summer theater camp is so much fun. It's going to happen in June. Kids, it's a full stage production, a musical. They have a week worth of rehearsals, and then they do a full hour performance on Saturday. So that we haven't announced the dates for that yet. It'll come soon, but it'll be in June. It's usually the 2nd week in June. We don't have the show title yet, but they'll let us know soon.
Good. That's fantastic. Well, Nikki, I know that you're really passionate about the arts, and it really comes through in all of the things that you're doing there. So thanks for coming to the show and sharing with the viewers what's coming up and some of the great things in the arts that are happening at UC Claremont College.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we hope that you'll stay tuned, because the next guest is our athletic director, Brian Sullivan, and he'll be talking about some of the sports teams and how they're doing on campus. Hi, welcome back to College Connection. Thanks so much for joining us. As I mentioned before, I have another great guest from UC Claremont College. I'd like to welcome Brian Sullivan, our athletic director. Brian,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show. You're a veteran on the show.
Yeah, 3rd time, I believe.
So you've been on here 3 times,
Yes.
and we were just talking before the show started, and you said the last time you were here, you came on to talk about Brian Wilson Field, which was just sort of in the beginning stages, and so that has now come to fruition. And tell the viewers a little bit about Brian Wilson Field, what it is, and
Yep. Brian Wilson Field is a partnership between UC Claremont College, Batavia Township, and the Cincinnati Reds Community Fund. It was kind of a dream to have a home baseball field, and Charlie Frank of the Reds and actually Jay Bruce came through for us, and now the field is a reality. We've played there. I believe we played our last 10 games there last year. It's at the Jim Bushman Complex at Batavia Township Center on Clough Pike, and that's our home field, and we could not be more happy to be playing there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Yes.
field.
It is. In year two, we're hoping to have new dugouts this year. We're working on new dugouts, and it's just great. We have it rented throughout the summertime, so everybody wants to play on it, and trying to give everyone the opportunity.
Oh, good. That's terrific. So we were also talking earlier, you are a lifelong Anderson
Yes. Yeah.
member. So you were...
Maddox Elementary, Anderson Middle School, and Anderson High School,
Oh,
and
okay.
University of Cincinnati.
Isn't
So
that something? So
been here all my life,
Yeah,
yes.
lifelong Cincinnatian, but also you've been raised in, you live and work and play in this community.
in Anderson Township, yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. So I'm sure a lot of our viewers will recognize you. You do coaching too. I'll let you coach some teams
Yeah,
in the area.
I was the coach at Anderson High School men's soccer team for 17 years.
Oh my gosh.
And no, I help with my son's club team and my daughter's club team, so I'm still in the community.
Great. I know you do some basketball
Yeah,
coaching.
yeah.
I've seen you.
On the side, yes. I don't know about that. I'm
yeah,
there.
yeah, that's right. So you're all over the place. You have been with UC Claremont College as the AD for how long?
It will be 7 years, October 15th.
Oh,
So,
wow. Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So, yeah, that's terrific. Tell folks a little bit about athletics at UC Claremont. I know that there are still folks in the region that are surprised
yeah,
that we have athletics at UC Claremont College.
yeah. I believe we're making great strides in getting the word out, especially to our student athletes. It has grown so much in the last 7 years. We're part of the United States Collegiate Athletic Association, which is a mixture of NCAA Division III and NAIA schools.
Okay.
And what it does, it gives the smaller schools like our school a chance to participate in a national championship and compete for a national championship. And that's why there are so many dual members in that. We belong to the Ohio Collegiate Athletic Conference, is our local conference. And again, we just keep growing. Our volleyball team is having an outstanding season. They're going to qualify for the national tournament in Lake Placid, New York.
Great.
Again, where this will be, if they do, once we get the invitation, it will be the 8th year in a row that they've qualified for the national tournament. A lot of times, obviously you want to win a national tournament, but to be able to qualify with 90-some schools and they only take 7, that's a real honor just to be invited to these
Absolutely.
tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the percentage is, it's amazing that we've had that track record.
Yes, volleyball's gone for, like I said, hopefully this will be the 8th year in a row. Women's basketball, again, it's down the road, but we're hoping for 6 in a row. Men's basketball goes consistently. And the baseball team, this will be their 6th year in existence, and they've gone 3 times, and we're actually World Series champions last year.
Yay! That was really
Yes.
exciting last year that
Yes.
they won the World Series championship. So that's fantastic. Tell the viewers what teams we have at UC Claremont.
We currently have women's volleyball, women's basketball, softball, men's basketball, and baseball.
Okay. And how many student athletes is that for
We
the
have
college?
approximately 100 student athletes.
Okay.
Again, going through this year, I guess, as in everything, you have dips and rises, and right now we're really on a rise. We had our first fall practice for softball the other day. We had 26 ladies out
Wow.
for softball. Baseball has just finished up their fall season. They have probably 35, 40 guys on the roster.
That's amazing.
Men's basketball has been going for the last 3 weeks, 6 a.m. practices, and having consistently 19 and 20 guys there. So
That's
we're very
terrific.
excited
Yeah.
about that. As I said, volleyball is just very consistent on what they do. They're always 14 girls strong and from all over the area.
That's fantastic. I know that that Joe Harpring is the coach
Yes.
for the women's volleyball team, and that's just sort of the one that's in season right now. I know that he's really proud of of the Lady Cougars, and he consistently has some really strong academic students on the team. They get all academics recognition and that kind of thing. So I know that's really important too, to make sure that they have that balance.
It is, especially with volleyball, as I said, that's been consistent since Joe was here before I was. And we've really made it a priority for all our athletic programs. I know we had 2 academic All-Americans in baseball. We had an academic All-American in women's basketball last year, 3 in softball.
That's
so,
fantastic.
And that's something to be proud of.
Absolutely.
Because your name's being out there in the national spotlight.
That's fantastic. So what would you say to viewers who are watching this who are thinking, well, I didn't realize that UC Claremont had sports and my son or my daughter might be interested in going there for that. How does it work? Do we have scholarships? Do you give scholarships in athletics? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we do not have athletic scholarships.
Okay.
We have found going out recruiting, because we do recruit a majority of our student athletes, and going out recruiting with our tuition cost, we can compete against Mount St. Joe and Thomas More and some of the other schools, even not giving athletic. The only thing that we do not have that they offer is housing, which sometimes becomes an issue. But we can compete against all those schools. I would say that if you can come out to a game, just see what it's about, because anyone I've talked to has just been shocked on the quality of the teams that we have and that we compete against on an everyday level. That's the biggest thing, the quality of the athlete. Everybody thinks it's Claremont College, you didn't make it to the big time. We've had, and I keep speaking of baseball because we've just finished up our fall season, but we have Division I transfers coming in now who, again, wanted to have a scholarship, got their scholarship, but found out that it wasn't exactly what they thought when they got there. Now they're back home.
Oh, wow.
So we get quite a few transfers like that.
That's terrific. And then from here, where do they go?
Well,
Some of the students.
again, in baseball, we had 2 guys enter the draft last year. They did not get drafted, which I guess is our plus, because they will be coming back. But the challenge for most of the athletes, it's something to do. They've always dreamed of doing is playing college athletics, and most of our athletes are here to get a college degree.
Yeah.
So for the most part, we don't push any further.
Right. I know that there's been some that have gone on to 4-year schools and played.
Oh yes, yeah, they do
Yeah.
go on to 4-year schools. We've in men's basketball and women's basketball now. We've had 2 go to 4-year schools. Volleyball, again, as you said, they're very high on their academics, and they play there. And some of them can only play for 2 years because they're either a nursing student,
Right.
and it just takes up too much of their time.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little bit about some of the winter programs that are coming up. What are you looking forward to with the winter programs?
Well, again, in the winter we have women's basketball and men's basketball. Women's basketball program, again, they're just like volleyball. They stay consistent. They always have great numbers come out, great student athletes come out. They're very competitive. That probably is a single sport. When I first came in, we were just entering the United States Collegiate Athletic Association, and it was a struggle to get players on the women's basketball team. And within 2 years, the coaching staff has turned it around, and now for 6 straight years, we're hoping to get back to the national tournament. They're very competitive, playing high quality schools. Mike Matthews and his assistant Rick Hosea do an outstanding job. And then on the men's program this year, we actually have an interim head coach, Greg Himes. He came from Mason County High School and Southern State Community College. Again, he has done an outstanding job on recruiting, keeping recruits that we had previously recruited, which we were concerned about how that was going to go down. And I could not be more pleased with that program. We have 19 guys out there at 6 o'clock every morning working hard. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah, so those are 2. And again, it's just like anything else, it has become an all-around year. Volleyball will, after they're back from the national tournament, they take through the holidays off and they're right back in it. Baseball just finished their fall season, then they'll be in the cages in the winter. So
wow.
They take it very seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like it. You talked a little bit about tuition, and for those that don't know, what is tuition at UC Claremont College? So when you go out and you talk to parents and students and you talk about the fact that they won't get a scholarship, but they can play and then not go into...
Yeah, I believe it's $5,800
right.
for tuition. And again, a $5,000 scholarship to another school isn't going to even cover that. So
Right.
you just have, once we can get the parents and the student athlete off the fact that we do not have scholarships,
Right.
and that kind of ego that they want a scholarship,
Yeah.
and they should be proud of that. But once we get past that, then they find out we're every bit as competitive as all the other schools that are recruiting them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that that's really important. So when students start doing the math and they realize,
And parents.
yeah, and parents do the math. Really, it's the parents doing the
Yes.
math, right? And they realize they can get like you said, a $5,000 scholarship to a school that's going to cost $20,000 a year, or
Exactly.
it's $5,000 or $6,000 to go the whole year.
Right.
For the first 2 years at UC Claremont, it really works out,
It
and then
makes
they
sense.
can do the thing that they love, which is playing a sport and getting their education at the same time.
We try with our schedule, and our other activities we do. We try to make it as big time program as we possibly can.
Yeah, I know that it's been fun for the students and for the folks around campus to be able to see us grow the home fields. When I first came on campus, we didn't have our own home gym.
Right.
And the Student Activity Center became the Cougar Dome.
The Cougar Dome, yeah.
Yeah, and so that, tell folks a little bit about the Cougar Dome.
Cougar Dome is actually our student activity center on
Uh-huh.
campus. It's open. It has a gym and locker rooms and showers and a weight room. And that's our home court for volleyball and men and women's basketball. And we've been, again, it's grown. We've been getting outstanding crowds for volleyball this year. I anticipate the same for men and women's basketball. It's a great home. Anytime you can build a home, and we're seeing that with baseball, because we had to travel for the first 5 years. It's just not the same.
Right.
So to be able to call a place home, it's great
Yeah.
advantage.
So if someone's watching the show and they're thinking about coming to UC Claremont in the fall, who would they contact first? Would they make contact with you first, or would they contact the coaches first?
They can contact me first. You
Okay.
can go to the website, ucclaremont.edu, and click on the left side, the tab Athletics.
Okay.
And it has all my information. And if you do want to go to each individual sport, we do have all the coaches' information and contact information, and a lot of times we have their cell phone on there. And do not hesitate to call any of the coaches. They really enjoy that.
Oh, that's good to
So
know.
yeah,
So
you're not
parents,
bothering them by calling
kids.
and asking questions. We love to answer any questions we can, because one of our goals is to make contact with the student athlete, try and get them on campus, try and get them to a game so they can see sometimes perception is not reality.
Yeah, that's good to know. And sometimes folks don't know where to start.
Right.
So sometimes it's just having a contact like you, or being able to call the coach directly and ask questions and sort of get that invitation.
And we do have
to
a tab on
campus.
there as well for our national affiliate for eligibility for transfers. and
Oh, okay.
It's fairly simple.
Oh, that's terrific.
Or I'd be glad to answer any questions.
That's terrific. I know all of your information will be scrolling on the screen. So if folks are watching, they can shoot you an email or give you a call. But like you said, they can contact the coaches directly too.
Yes, any way they like.
That's fantastic. I know that for parents like myself, it's always intimidating to know where to start when you're trying to
Right.
help your student athlete. So
And
that's
we
fantastic.
again, if it's athletics, if that's a piece of the pie where they would come to UC Claremont College, we would love to help them out in any way.
That's fantastic. Well, Brian, thank you for coming on the show again and telling us about all the programs at UC Claremont College. You're doing a great job,
Thank you.
and we're excited for the season ahead.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we thank you for joining us at Anderson Community Television and for College Connection, and we hope that you'll join us next time.